Good morning, and welcome to the Deal Room Live, the daily real estate deal tank powered by Titan Impact Group, a global leader in AI-driven real estate investing and funding, where the real estate world meets speed, precision, and profit. And bring us your deal so we can put it into our AI model that analyzes and structures real estate deals in minutes, generates all the docs you need to get the deal done, and gives you a verified, unbiased breakdown of due diligence reports. The investors get the advantage of getting fully vetted AI-analyzed deals that cut their due diligence time down by 60%. So you're in the right place. Let's open the deal room now and get into today's opportunity. Good morning. Welcome to the Landshark Mastermind. This is Tommy D. I'm your founder. We are here today with Titan Impact Group, Catherine Bell. She's our sponsor for the deal room, hosted daily here Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. I'd like to make note of our founding members as well. Roman Rubio, who is our Economic Development Council liaison at the border, working wonderful magic down there in San Luis and Yuma County. And our co-founder, Dr. Nangyang Chan, who's wonderful note taker, always shows up every time I say his name. Dr. Nangyang Chan is our third co-founder of the Landshark Mastermind, and the real brains behind all the work. So my name's Tommy D, and I am the third individual on the team. And what we did was we came up with a way to design real estate deals around picking up somebody's.
I have to work. If today you cannot do the 160.
There we go. Somebody needs to go on mute. There we go. I see part of Catherine Bell there. We got all kinds of apparatuses in front of her. Good morning, Catherine.
Good morning. I'm trying to figure this out.
So today is Thursday. Hope everybody's having a good week this far. I'm waiting for a few people to come in and get things done. Today we're going to be using the Deal Hunter by Landshark AI model. It helps us find deals in real estate that we can invest into. It's got a built-in 40% margin. So we try to make sure that it only returns deals to us that will produce 40% or more on our return on investment. So, and we'll get into showing you a little bit about how to do that. Land is the easiest way for us to make returns because with land, it's typically needing to be entitled or developed, or it needs permits or blueprints or easements or split. You can do a minor subdivision split. Those types of things are important. So because if you know how to do those, you can actually do what's called fix and flip land. So sorry, you got a message coming in. So Deal Hunter by Landshark again is the AI model that we have for doing real estate investment due diligence. It'll do discovery for us. It will put together deals. It'll actually make suggestions on how to put a deal together. Excuse me. Oftentimes we get stuck on a deal because we don't know how to make it make sense. And so Deal Hunter is pretty good at making suggestions about how to make it make sense. It'll pull up owner financing options. It'll pull up how to do a 5-1 mortgage. It'll pull up how to do an adjustable rate, delayed closing, how to wholesale it. And then it'll turn around and it'll create all those documents for us to be able to do it. So I had a call this morning with one of our members to the Landshark Mastermind, Sergio Gonzalez. We're working on a deal with him for a project. It's a commercial mixed use commercial project with residential on it. It's kind of weird.
So I have people joining us live on TikTok and Facebook. So I put the link. If you want to see our actual screen, it's in the comments. So feel free to join us live so you can see it. So we are going to get started here, and we're going to pull up the screen and we're going to show Deal Hunter and AI. And so for those of you who are joining here on all the live, I put the link in the comments so that you can actually join and see what we're actually doing right here on the screen. He's going to come up in just a second and start sharing to be able to analyze deals. The thing that I know about doing deals for years and years and years is the most time consuming thing really is finding and analyzing them. So the fact that Tommy has done a brilliant job building this and creating this for investors, it's literally saving, hours, if not days, weeks, and possibly even months. So for those of you joining us, please come on and use the link. It's in the comments. You can see this.
Yep. Well, we can tell them a little bit about what you do with AI too, Catherine. Let me do a better introduction. Titan Impact Group is the sponsor for the Deal Room. The Deal Room is where we bring together real estate professionals across the country who have deals they need to pitch, deals that need funding, deals that need buyers. And we showcase those deals right here, kind of like a cattle auction. We use AI to help us break the deal down and get through about 3 months of due diligence in 3 minutes. And that information is very valuable to people like Catherine Bell's investment groups. We've got over 10,000 investors in our network, and the best way for us to showcase these properties is by doing these types of calls every day and then putting them out on our YouTube channel. That is we're building subscribers up over there on that. So you can go and check out the YouTube channel. I think it's called TIG 20B on YouTube. Catherine might be able to put the link in the chat in all the lives. We are live on TikTok and Facebook and I think LinkedIn, but we are only able to show you what we're doing if you're in the Zoom call. And so for those of you that have made it to the Zoom call, thank you, welcome. And what we'll do is we'll get cranking up. Here's an example of one of our newest members to the Landshark Mastermind, Catherine, is Summit Equity LLC, based out of Philadelphia. They are operating as a private money lender, and the founder of that, Hoy, is a student of yours, is a mentee of yours. So we want to pay a little homage to Hoy today. I don't know if he made it in here yet, but Hoy is almost done with the real estate 101, 102, 103 program and about ready to start doing some deals.
He is my poster child for coaching.
There you
If
go.
there's ever a personality that I love to coach, it definitely is him. He wins the gold star. I've coached thousands of people, but he wins.
There you go.
He takes the coaching and does it.
And if you want to get a little bit of an example of that coaching that Catherine's talking about, I want you to go to catherinebell.ai. That's the best place to get that kind of coaching. It's free, first of all. But it's actually Catherine's AI assistant clone. Like, it talks like Catherine, thinks like Catherine, hell, it even interrupts like Catherine. So all you do is just click the call button on her catherinebell.ai. There's an option to text and an option to call. It is way better to call because you get to hear the information directly from her. It's got a knowledge base of all 5 of her best international best-selling books. It's got a bunch of um, information regarding the uh, regarding the um, way that Catherine does real estate, and then also the AI tools that she is able to produce and build for you. Catherine put together some amazing AI tools for us. She created our Rosetta Stone for our company for the Landshark Mastermind. She created our AI voice. I can demonstrate that here pretty soon. And then she's also created or helped us create a virtual board and a virtual team. So our virtual executive board helps us make decisions about the future of our mastermind, and helps us come up with bulletproof ideas that are beneficial to our members, and then our just execute all the things that we come up with in the virtual executive board. So it's pretty amazing to have a 2.0 system. I've ran companies for the better part of 30 years, and I've never been able to scale any faster in my life with them. Now that I'm using AI, it's absolutely mind blowing how quickly we can get things done. So go check out catherinebell.ai. Or well, after you have that conversation, go book a call, meet catherinebell.com, and get yourself one of these 2.0 packages where you're able to get a Rosetta Stone, an AI voice, and maybe a virtual board or virtual team to help you scale and, as Catherine likes to say, add commas and collapse timelines. So um, go check that out today. So let's see. Today's Thursday. Our agenda or format is usually to do industrial or land on today's call. And one of the things that we were able to achieve since our last call was we did this um, land deal around the corner from us out here in Scottsdale, and it was a vacant piece of land. It's considered vacant land because there's not a building on it. There's not even any utilities on it. Um, and what we did was we were able to uh, talk to the owner. He's got some tenants out there paying rent on it, and the total rent that they're making is about $12,000 a month. So we talked to him about buying it. It makes $144,000 a year, and that's net. It says gross, but it's actually net because there's no utilities, there's no expenses out there except to pay land taxes, and on vacant property, the taxes on vacant land is very low. So even though we rent it out to 4 tenants, it's not expensive for us to have that property there. So what we did was we came up with a negotiation face to face with the guy about it, and decided that his price of $1.5 million was fair. We wanted him to carry that 500,000 though. And then we also wanted to actually bring the utilities into the property. I know that, part of this is due to the fact that, like, in the future, we plan on building in this property. We're not going to keep it a rental lot forever. So what we wanted to do was kind of get some of those utilities taken care of first. So what we did was told we asked the seller if we could bump the purchase price up to 1.75 million. And what we would do then is go and borrow 1.25 and have him seller carry 500,000. That would look like to the bank or to the borrower that we're going after that we've got 500,000 in equity, because the seller, is going to do that seller carry back after, or as what is called a secondary lien position. He'll let us hang out with 500,000 in debt, and it'll look like we've got some money and skin in the game because we've got this amazing term with this guy. The seller would then give us $250,000 at closing. When he takes the 1.25, he's going to give us 250,000 of that so we can get those utilities done and get the work done on the property that'll get it ready for development in a couple of years. So we'll actually land bank this for about 2 years and suck all the depreciation out of it that's available. And once we get all that, then what we'll do is we will renegotiate with our tenants on other vacant lots, move them out to those vacant lots and put a building on this property. So what I did was, in Deal Hunter, this is our program, Deal Hunter. I told it that I wanted it to make write it up as an LOI for a 10-year note, seller carry 500. We want it amortized for 20 years, but a balloon payment in 10. Had it figure all that out, showed us our total debt service, what that would run. If you remember, I told you that the what we're getting over there is only $12,000 a month. So we're barely scraping by on a monthly basis, like only $70 or $80 profit. So it shows us on a debt service coverage ratio that we're barely over the 1.0 mark, which means that our debt service is covered by the rent, but only by a little bit. So what we looked at then was like, okay, well, that's kind of difficult to do anything there. What if we found some investors that would want to do this? So when we go after investors, we can actually give them more money back than they would get in other investments without going bankrupt. So I figured that out and came up with a way to do that, which then increased our debt service coverage ratio to 3. So I was like, hold on, that's actually a lot better than what I was hoping for. Let me adjust it. And so for our investors, if we had an investor that came forward with 1.25, we'd be able to move over to paying them a return instead of paying interest on a loan. We would pay a return to an investor, and by paying a return to an investor, we're giving the investor a 7.2% return, and we're keeping our debt service coverage ratio around 1.22. So just by switching from debt to equity, we were able to make this deal a lot more attractive. So I wanted to make sure that if I'm going to go after an investor, they understand the exit, because investors want to know the exit. Banks typically don't care about the exit, but an investor definitely does. So I made sure to write up this deal where we're going to do 8 units on this property. And it would be in about 3 years, we would go out there and build a 40,000 square foot commercial industrial space condo. And by building it out, you can see here, we can very easily rent it out, create an income from that building that would then make an asset value of almost $8 million to $10 million. So our investors who came in at 1.25 are going to be able to exit at 8 minimum. So as you can see here, that's how expedient Deal Hunter by Landshark is it can show us 2 options to go through a deal. And on this deal, doing a bank wasn't making us very much money. It was actually a non-starter, with the fact that we weren't going to be making any money off of it. So it's like, nope, not even interested in that. But as soon as I plugged in investors to it, I made it a package deal for an investor. Now it makes sense, and not only does it make sense, it increases by 11%. So it takes it from a 1.5 up to almost a 10x. So like an 8x, 7x. So these are these are the ways that Deal Hunter by Landshark is able to put stuff together. So we were able to then tell it, all right, I like the way this deal packaged. And I said, make me an LOI for the owner. It put together the entire LOI, explained everything in plain English. I also try to tell it if I'm having, because I'm not the smartest guy in the world. I do have a college degree, but that just means I know how to take a test. Some people don't need things broke down to a fifth grade level, and the New York Times is written at a fifth grade level. If you all didn't know that, and so if you can make ChatGPT put everything into a fifth grade level format, then that's a good deal. So I had it break down what the fee structure would look like and what what the payment to the seller would be and how we would get that paid off over time. And it would not be like an interest only loan for that guy. As we pay it, we're going to pay down, we're going to pay down interest and principal together. So, and in a 10-year period, he'll get all his money back. He's going to walk away with $1 million at first, and then just get 5,500. That one right there, 5551. He'll get the $5,551 a month for 120 months. So, which pays him back 666,001, 2, 3, 4. I like numbers, so the total repaid is kind of scary looking. I would ask for maybe 1,000 less or 1,000 more just to flip those numbers around. But again, it's able to even put in clauses like an acceleration event, meaning that the loan become due if we made improvements that are over the 500,000, if we sold the property or if transferred it, etc. So all these things are important factors. This is a great land deal. Opportunity is very attractive for us to jump into on that, and so we're waiting to get with his lawyer this week to get this deal done. He already signed everything. He wants us to come forward with an offer now. So we'll be definitely doing that. Something else that we've got cooking on the land side of life is not necessarily directly with us, but it is a thing. I've gotten invited to be a contributor to the Arizona Ascent magazine. It's a real estate magazine focused on all things real estate. They appreciate the work we put into doing land development and being, in the real estate business for the land side of things. So they asked me to write an article about real estate land deals in Arizona, and one of them was this most recent land deal that occurred. I read the Phoenix Business Journal. I actually read about 16 different business journals every day, from Phoenix to Dallas to Tampa, Orlando. I read about 6 Florida ones because that's where I started reading them. But these business journals are amazing on putting together information dedicated to real estate. And so one of the ones that was in there this week was about the Deer Valley Industrial Park. And the Deer Valley Industrial Park is going to be built right near TSMC. And what they're doing is they're able to piggyback off of the power and all the utilities that TSMC has already brought in. This will be probably an AI data center park where they'll build out every building there to be a data center. And it's probably there to support AI more than anything. Phoenix and Arizona, the Phoenix metro area is really becoming a hotbed for all of the data center activity that's been going on, over the last 3 or 4 years. So on the flip side to that, one of the other articles that we found is that there's a luxury community out in Goodyear, which is very close to where they're building this is where they're building the Microsoft or Google. I think it's Google. I think Google and Microsoft might be out there, but they're building their industrial park out there and putting their data centers out there in Goodyear, Arizona. And when the developers of the luxury community out there, known as the Estrella Mountain Ranch, when Estrella Mountain Ranch discovered that they're going to be doing more development out there, the developers went back to the county and said, "Hey, can we cut back on the amount of houses that are going to be available to be built?" Basically saying that they wanted to go from 1 acre lots to more like 5 acre lots. And they want all the custom homes to be built on 5 acre lots instead of um, 1 acre lots. And basically what that does is it slashes the amount of inventory uh, out there. So typically developers will buy land to take a big piece of land and cut it into smaller pieces. These guys are taking the smaller pieces and squeezing them together to make one bigger piece, and then saying, okay, we can build a house on that. So what it's doing is it's going to increase the price of custom home lots. It's going to decrease the amount of custom home lots available. And so if you know about supply and demand, that's basically what it is. So Deal Hunter was able to go out and get these, get this information for me, and it's really amazing how it does deal discovery and stuff like that. So one of the let's see, we've got a case study in here. We've got this land acquisition plan that we worked on. This was, we're revisiting that Texas Opportunity Zone program that they got, the utility access and verification. What we were able to discover after the last call we ran this on was that the feasibility of doing deals in this area. I gotta minimize this. There we go. The feasibility of doing any of the deals on the land we discovered for the data centers. It showed that, like, it confirmed whether or not it was in an opportunity zone, and then it gave us if the electric, water, sewer, or fiber were nearby. And these are the components to doing land deals. Somebody called me last night and they're like, "Well, how do I talk to a landowner about doing a land deal?" Because they're doing fix and flips all the time. And I told them, I says, the house on a piece of land kind of eliminates all the questions you need for a land deal, because when the house is on a piece of property, you know that it's got electric, sewer, water, and access, because if it didn't, there wouldn't be a house there. So with a house there, you already know that electric, sewer, water, and access are going to be there. But when you're buying raw land, you have to ask them, where's the electric? Where's the water? Where's the sewer? Where's the access? Where's the road to get into it? And when we're talking about data centers, we also need to find out where's the fiber, right? So these 5 components become our due diligence process, and it can be hard to find those answers. One of the things that Deal Hunter is able to do is go out and scrape where that data or information is collected. And how it does that is by going out and, say, for example, researching the Texas Department of Transportation, TDOT, will have information on their website about upcoming projects or ongoing work. So watch this. I'll show you an example. I would like you to go out and do a little research about this area and tell me on the Department of Transportation if there's any information about expansions or road work or any of the new infrastructure coming to those areas. Put it into a canvas, make sure it's able to be copied, make sure I can edit it, and make sure I can download it and send it to a friend. And so by hitting that microphone button right there, I just dictated what I needed to say. I verify that's what I want it to say, and then I send it out and let Deal Hunter return back to me any of the information that it was able to provide. And here you can see that it's providing me a very detailed list of the areas that it's going to be, where they're working. It describes what timeline they're in with it and where the information came from. And so with all of these projects, like here it says the interchange and loop in San Antonio, mobility around 35 and I-35 segments of these roads, putting in an overpass right here. That's a big deal. If you don't know about overpasses, you can look that up. Overpasses mean that they're connecting one side to the other, and now there's room for expansion. So, and then the FM 973 corridor. So all of these projects are, you know, showing you where the path of progress is. So get out there and buy the land around it, near it, and in it, so that you can be, you know, positioned to either develop or get it ready for development. Right.
Well, and don't they want to be careful about which land they buy so that it doesn't, eminent domain can't just, you know, ride roughshod over them?
Well, again, a lot of people hate eminent domain, but let me show you a little trick. If I bought a piece of property in the path of progress and eminent domain was about to happen, what is the standard for eminent domain when it comes to the city or the state or the county or the federal government buying that property back from me for use in eminent domain? Can you give me a case study and break it down like a fifth grader? And basically, because I've had a lot of experience with eminent domain, in the fact that investors will typically buy intentionally in the path of progress in order to go through eminent domain, because
Okay.
it's not like they're taking it for free. They have to apply what is called just compensation or fair market value. Okay.
Okay.
So a lot of times the investors that go out and get property to be in the path of eminent domain are buying it at 10 cents on the dollar, because then they're going to get it a fair market value for it by, and what they'll do is a land banker will go buy it at 10 cents on the dollar and then turn around and wholesale it to a brother or sister and raise the HUD on that, raise the value on it by creating comps with it.
Mm.
So this is a practice that they do out there that you know allows them to make money off of the path of progress as it's coming through. So it says here in the case study here, let's use our Google voice, or not our Google voice, our AI voice. Where'd it go? Down here. If you click down here,
We can't hear you. You didn't share the sound. We can't hear your AI talking.
let's see. Now we should be able to do it. If you click here and you click that,
Love this question. Let's break eminent domain down shark simple. Then we'll run a real case study and explain it like I would to a fifth grader. What is eminent domain? Definition: the government, city, county, state, or even federal, has the power to take private property for public use, roads, schools, highways, utilities, etc. Rule: they have to pay you just compensation. Standard: just compensation is usually the fair market value, what a willing buyer and seller would agree on in the open market. Case study: Kilo v. City of New London, 2005. This is one of the most famous U.S. Supreme Court eminent domain cases. The story? Fifth grader version. A small city called New London, Connecticut wanted to build new shops, homes, and offices to help the local economy. A lady named Susette Kilo owned a little pink house in the middle of where the city wanted to build. She didn't want to sell. The city said, "We'll use eminent domain." Kilo said, "Wait, that's not for public use. You just want private developers to build new stuff." The fight went to the Supreme Court. What happened? The court ruled 5-4 that the city could take her house because public use can mean public benefit, economic growth, not just a road or school. She got compensation based on the home's fair market value, what it was worth in the market, not sentimental value. Lesson: eminent domain doesn't always mean highways. It can be broader, like redevelopment. Owners are paid market value, but not for what it could be worth in the future or emotional attachment. How it works in practice. Texas example fits your deal hunting. If Texas wants land for a highway expansion, 1. Offer letter. The state, TxDOT, sends you an offer based on an appraisal. 2. Counter negotiate. You can hire your own appraiser and argue it's worth more. 3. Special commissioner's hearing. If no agreement, a local panel decides compensation. 4. Courts. If either side is unhappy, you can appeal. Key point: they don't negotiate on whether they can take it. That's given if it's for public use, only on how much you get paid. Fifth grader analogy. Imagine your class needs a new playground slide. The only spot is where your lemonade stand is. The principal says, we're building the slide for everyone, so we have to move your stand. But they give you the same money it would cost if you sold your stand to another kid at recess. You can say, wait, my stand is worth more, and show proof, your own appraisal. But you don't get extra just because it's your favorite spot, or you think it'll be worth more if ice cream trucks start parking nearby. Shark takeaway for investors. Buying in the path of progress means sometimes you'll benefit from infrastructure, but occasionally you get taken out by eminent domain. Always check text.maps, county transportation plans, and city thoroughfare plans before buying. If eminent domain happens, fight for highest market value with your own appraisal and expert testimony. Do you want me to add a Texas-specific eminent domain case, like a highway expansion in Williamson or Travis County, to your canvas with sources so you've got a local example too?
And I don't really need it to do any of that, but it can. And as a matter of fact, we're looking at a piece of property for data center development out in Illinois, where eminent domain was something that happened, and it was part of my family, where eminent domain took over. It was back in the early 1900s. They took my family's land to create and build a oil refinery, and so now that oil refinery is shut down, and we're looking at buying it and building on it a data center. So I think it would be great to crank full circle on the city, buy back my family's property and put my name on the sign going into it. So, but that's a deal that we'll get into some other time for sure. On this one, excuse me.
Just want to welcome Amor to the call. Glad you're here, honey.
I've seen quite a few people participating today, so I wanted to just send a shout out and thank you to everybody that came in. Love the opportunity to work with people. So if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat or find us on our social medias to participate with us more. Catherine's got, catherinebell.ai. That's a great place to get resource information. You can also book a call with me to discuss deals. So we're always looking to work with people on all kinds of things and using AI to help us do that. So one of the things that we're using to help us is we also allow AI to kind of work with us on getting people signed up to pitch their properties to us. So this is our Pitch Your Deal on Landshark podcast, and this is the Deal Room, sponsored by Titan Impact Group. And we're going to be sending out this form where if you want to bring a piece of property on, tell us about it, let us run it through the AI, you can fill out this form and get it back to us and tell us, it'll tell us a little bit more about your deal, and then we can get you booked to come up and tell us what you got going on. So from that, we also encourage you to head over to the YouTube channel. That's where all these videos are posted. The YouTube channel is TIG, stands for Titan Impact Group. 20B stands for 20 billion. So you can head over there and check out all the videos that we've already done. You can see updates on some of the stuff that we've done. So we are looking at another deal now. This is a property that we were down there trying to figure out like what the area was like, because we wanted to see about possibly developing there. And so I use this model called Consensus. And Consensus, if you all don't know, you can find all these GPTs that we're talking about by going to the Explore GPT right here. You type in Deal Hunter and it pops up right here as soon as it's done thinking. So you got quite a few deal hunters right here. Oh man, we've kind of fallen off the list. They're only pushing the cool ones. If you put Deal Hunter buy, It should pull up right there. Deal Hunter buy Land Shark. It'll get you into chatting with us. The other one would be we developed free estimates. I went at a consultation with a guy about that this morning. Showed him how to use free estimates. After it's done thinking about it. There we go. Number one on the list. I like that. Bumps it up there. Now there's other calculators. There's other things you can use, but again, it's you don't know how they're built. That's why I built mine, and you can get Catherine to build yours. But mine comes with a specific set of rules on how it operates and what it does. So I also made a I am Charlie Kirk. I don't know where everybody stands on that situation, but I made a I am Charlie Kirk because I liked watching the kid debate people. And so it goes straight out to the videos that he created and comes back with the actual things that he said. So that one's exciting to use. But consensus, I'll get back into that right quick. Consensus, you can find it right here. It does research on with the world scientific literature, and basically it's able to go out and get information on everything and anything. And what I like to use it for is I like to use it for demographic data research because it knows where to go to look for that. It scientifically digs up information on stuff like that. So when we were looking at areas for this retail market, because we were looking for land, we needed to know about the demographics in the area. So it gave us the population growth, the ethnic and racial composition, the median age. These are all, there's a website out there called CoStar that you can pay $3,300 a month to get all this information, or you can know where to go on ChatGPT to get it for free, or $20. I suggest you get the $20 version. Somebody said the other day that they said that the free version is like talking to somebody with 110 IQ. Or something like that. Doing the $20 version, it's like talking to somebody with 150 IQ, and then using the $200 version, it's like talking to somebody with 170 IQ. And I think the highest IQ out there is 180 or something like that. So it was pretty impressive to discover that you pay for the intelligence level of this thing. But it sounds, pretty true. So, but it shows here income, poverty rate, housing ownership, the median property values in the area, etc. This is all important. If I'm looking to go out there and build a commercial property, I want to know that when I build it, it's going to be used and it's not going to go out of business right away. I want it to run at least 7 years. Most people hold commercial property for 7 years. So if I build it, I want it to stay up and running. Now, one of the other things it did was it gave me an implication and opportunities scale. I can get it to do what's called a SWOT analysis if I wanted to, and come back with that information in a SWOT. I can, but this consensus isn't designed to do that, but I can still get it to do it. So it provides me with all kinds of information on what to expect and what to go through there. So the sources that it got that information from are available. Here's the census report. Here's where it pulled information for that region. All of the sources are right here. So, and then like Cushman Wakefield, that's a highly reputable commercial broker in the area. So his information is probably just as good as the stuff that comes from the government. So maybe even better. So you can see just a long list of all the places you can, all the data points that it pulled from for this. So very, very great, good amount of information, great reporting back of all these things. So we're super excited by that. Let's see, what else can I get into here? So once we do stuff like that, then say, for example, we've got somebody brought us a deal. Let me see if I can find it. The point to doing these podcasts is also to show people how to use it. And sometimes when I lose stuff in a chat, I can't remember where it went. I have to go search it. So what I'm looking for now is Gretna, Nebraska deal. Right here. Gretna market trends. So this is a this is actually before we started with Deal Hunter. I was using this GPT here called Real Estate, and it wasn't quite doing what we wanted it to do. And that's why we built Deal Hunter but what we did was we did a due diligence checklist for the guy. He wants to buy a piece of property in Gretna, Nebraska and do a master plan development. Part of the master plan development that he wants to do incorporates a piece of property that he would be able to run with his family. So the family wants to run a restaurant and have like a little entertainment area right there. And so they only need like 20 acres of land to do it. But the spot that they're selling it or that they want to build it is actually sitting on 370 acres. I think it's this one right here. No, which one is it? It's one of these projects. The piece of property is about 120 acres or 130 acres. Here it is. So let's watch this.
Gretna City Council is celebrating a new option for their Good Life district.
A new developer is in the picture after the original developer backed out.
And now the city's trying to show the state this is a project with promise. KATV News Watch 7's Maddie Augustine was at the council meeting tonight. Maddie?
Yeah, Rob, Julie, local development group Woodsonia Real Estate is now throwing their hat in the ring as a key developer for the Gretna Good Life District. The group is already approved to help create the Grand Island Good Life District, and now they're sharing their ideas to transform the 2,000 acres of land sitting between Omaha and Lincoln. A fully mapped out proposal ready to go.
And then the golf course, St. James, the sports complex would be here.
Drew Snyder, president of the Elkhorn-based development group Woodsonia Real Estate, says they believe the Gretna Good Life District is an opportunity to bring incredible experiences to the state, like a $125 million amphitheater.
15 to 17,000 seat outdoor amphitheater, be operational from April to November. I think it would bring in 50 major acts every year, it'd be 50 major concerts a year. That would bring in people from definitely outside the state of Nebraska.
With every project, Snyder says their proposal has the potential to bring in 1.9 million visitors a year.
And this is not the full development of all 2,000 acres. This would just be the 700 acres. So pretty significant.
And to make the district as operational as possible, they're proposing a $50 million infrastructure revitalization.
We always envisioned moving Highway 6. So we would still envision doing that plan, shifting that up to Fairview Road, and then making it highway improvements from I-80 really all the way up to Capehart Road.
Land dedicated to Mulhall's within Snyder's plan, and the business showing their support for the district during Tuesday's city council meeting.
Through continuing to focus on what has long made Gretna great, will make all this well worth it.
Working to garner the city council's support, Snyder says he's confident in the district's potential.
This is an exciting district, and let's all cheerlead to the state to let's keep the district alive.
The city of Gretna is doing an economic study on the viability of the district using Woodsonia's proposal. Again, the city and other interested parties like Woodsonia have until February 12th to submit all evidence of viability to the Nebraska DED. If approved by the state, Snyder says he's confident they'll be up and running quickly. Back.
So what we're doing up there in Gretna with Robert is that they want to transform like 200 of those 2,000 acres into what they're doing. So the 132 acres right there. So Gretna is basically what they're thinking about doing. So Robert reached out to us. He's looking at becoming a Land Shark member, but we were able to look at the deal with him. We would end up doing the same thing that guy was doing in the video, Drew. he went there and told him about the 700 acres he's looking to do. We'd be going in and talking to them about the 132 acres we want to do for Robert and his family. And what we were able to do is we were actually able to go out and grab this PDF of the Gretna 2040 plan. Maybe it'll open, maybe it won't, but basically it's a PDF that has the plans from the city, the county, or whatever, all laid out what they want done. And what we did was we fed it into GPT. I don't think it's going to pull it. We fed it into GPT right here, and I said, review this plan and give me the top 5 options for developers. And so the option for doing what they called the Good Life Transformational District is not even on here. So they have other areas that they're focused on in that 2040 plan. So I went back and had a consultation with Robert. We put together some plans to do stuff and get him to join us up. And we're going to deep dive into this with him because we believe that we can put together a good amount of information. We've already done the feasibilities here to see that there's a good chance that there's a viable opportunity to develop. And so we're just waiting to see what Robert wants to do next and how we can get into doing this with him. Because we've got a belief that like over the next 10 to 20 years, Gretna is going to be a big development area corridor, especially if they're going between Omaha and Iowa, as that area expands and stuff like that. So people are flooding out of California. Some people like these areas out here because they're rural and country still, but you got all the stuff around it. So they're not built out like big cities, and the Good Life Transformational District is an example of that. So I love that it gives us our map. So you probably can't see that one because it bounced off of the sharing screen. Oops, screwed that up. Anyway, Roman's in here. Roman, you want to say anything? You want to come up and talk? Never mind, I got it. So this is the area that they were talking about on that call, on that YouTube video that we watched. And you can see that I-80 runs through here. This is we call it the path of progress, and this is what happens within that path of progress. So they're talking about making this Route 6 thing right here move out of the way so they can get more through here. And so the area that we were talking with Robert about is like one of these bigger squares like this, only split in half. It's like cut right down the middle. So we would be buying it, splitting it, and getting it to do something like this down here. You can see on this map, this area is like already divided. This is one of those squares just cut up. So you can see this square before it was divided, it turned into this. So there's products right here. This thing right here in the middle, that's easement. So you might give that to the county. These two pieces are cut up weird because of probably the way the building's going to be put on there. Definitely, here's the road. These are, these are lots specifically designed for other people, and then they're sold off separately. So if we buy that one big lot up there for say $1 million, I can sell all these little ones down here for 300,000 a piece. So I'm basically doubling my money because I've cut it up into at least 5 pieces. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's $1.5 million. So I basically, got 50% on my investment just by cutting it up. So I do got to sell it too, but that's a lot easier to do once all that stuff is in. Once I start putting in roads and stuff like that, that's all put on paper. We're not physically putting pavement on the ground. We're literally just drawing it on paper. And when I draw it on paper, it becomes more valuable. So out here in the Nebraska crossings area right here, you see this? These are really small lots, and they've got these bigger lots in the middle like that there's two ways that could work. It's either going to continue to get developed out and look like this down here, where all these small lots are contiguous and touching each other. So, and they don't want to break it up until they know what's going to go there. That takes a little bit more time, and it definitely costs a lot more money to do that. But you know, it's still a way of dividing the land out. So, you see here, the map shows this Route 6 thing. I'm pretty sure that this is proposed. I'm pretty sure this entire map right here, like this blue area, is all just proposed right now. They actually don't have it. They don't have it open and operating like that just yet. So I imagine I-80 goes through there. If you're not familiar with I-80, it's the east-west road that connects the East Coast to the West Coast. The one that runs north to south is the I-55, and that connects basically Chicago to Florida, or Chicago to the Gulf of Mexico. But those are the crossroads of America. If you didn't know about that, it's I-55 and I-80. I grew up outside of that by about 4 miles. So path of progress, I know it very well. I grew up in it. So I'm going to review the chat before we go. If anybody has any thing they want to grab out of here. Sergio, it was a blessing to have you come in. Glad Amora was here. Amora. And if anybody has any questions, we certainly love to hear those. So contact catherinebell.ai or book a call with me and get on a call. And we will be hosting this meeting again tomorrow at 9 a.m. Catherine Bell is going to be your hostess with the mostest. And she's going to be talking about tax rebates through doing depreciation on investing in oil and gas fund, and talking about doing opportunity zone funds. Once you become a accredited investor and you got capital gains, we've got products for you to get in with that. So be sure to check back tomorrow on that. I'm going to wrap this up with a really quick prayer. Heavenly Father, we ask that you continue to bless and guide us and put us in the path of not just progress, but your progress, and getting us into position to help others and be ethical and moral in all the decisions and moves that we make in this world of real estate. Go out and touch all the lives of the people that have been to this meeting, and have them touch the lives of those that didn't. And we do this in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank everyone for coming in. We will, like I said, we'll be back tomorrow at 9 a.m. and we'll see you all then.